Hey everyone, and welcome to the video. Today we will be reacting again to the new Sims trailer for the My Wedding Stories. I will be looking over on the website and also be talking about the whole banned in Russia drama. Okay, I already watched people react to this and I watched it myself, but I'm gonna do it one more time for this video. Which I'm really happy about. I mean, just the Simlish version of the song that they played in the trailer I like. So, and the drama, of course. Okay, when I first saw this though, I love that tree for some reason. Oh, I love this. But when I first saw this, I was instantly thinking of all the outcomes I could do for my own Sims, especially Sam and Hanako from one of my series, which I recently actually figured out a name for. It was suggested by someone off of the Sims 4 Amino. They suggested Life's Twists, so that's the name for them now. I love the people in the background. Oh, I can't. Oh, the tree. I'm already invested so much into their story, and I just love the new. I will say this though. Earlier, well, I'll show it later. And people actually pointed out before that some of the stuff reminds them of some custom content some people created for like a rustic wedding or something like that. I actually got the custom content for my game, but for my Sims and stuff. But I'll show it later what I'm pointing out, which before anyone else mentioned it, I instantly thought it. I mean, the suspenders and that look, some people was reminded of it. But there was one specific thing I saw before anyone even mentioned the rustic wedding CC that made me think of it. I love that they get the rice and the slow dancing. I love it. And they get to do toast. Oh. I love that they get to throw the bouquet. You guys can't see it, but I have this big smile on my face right now. Oh. Oh. Oh yeah. Hang on. Right here in the gameplay stream, they show that you can actually do that, and it's not like already there. I love it. Oh. And I remember Lil Simsy's reaction to that, to the cow plant. But let me see, that one thing that was pointed, like, when the first time I watched it, it reminded me of the rustic wedding CC. I think it's... Hold up. Let me see. It's like, blink and you'll miss it type thing. These shoes, specifically, and how it just goes, like, up, and there's this bit here. Just how it looks kind of reminds me of the shoes from there. I know it's not the same ones, but it reminds me so much of it, I guess. But yeah. But now we got to talk about the thing that is causing so much drama. Before we even get to the whole drama thing, I forgot I was going to take a look at the website and read that. So have fun listening to me mispronounce words. I've been having a terrible day. For with my wedding stories game pack. Drop into a wedding you'll fall in love with. Okay, so a lot of us was very skeptical. Some still are, even after they saw the trailer and then the whole gameplay stream happened, but I'm still gonna read this. Introducing Tartosa, the most romantic world in all of The Sims 4. The sunsets are heart-stopping, the beaches are breathtaking, the gardens are astonishing, and the waterfalls are awe-inspiring. Tartosa is a paradise made for love. This idyllic yeah. This world is the perfect place to celebrate your Sims nuptials. I probably mispronounced that. From putting a ring on it to the renewal of vows. Reflecting a true wedding and happily ever after experience. You'll be able to creatively discover different sides of oneself to plan out many versions of your Sims dream wedding. The festivities leading up to the ceremony, participants, decor, dress code, cake, location, and more. So without further ado, we now present Tartosa and a guided tour of the Sims 4 My Wedding Stories game pack. I do know a lot of people did say that this should not be a game pack and should actually just been with the base game in the beginning, but I mean, we got a new world, and honestly, I like the idea of this game pack, but a wedding doesn't start until your partner says yes, right? Enjoy the thrill of every major moment leading up to the big day, starting with your engagement. Although you can absolutely be the spontaneous type and elope at City Hall, I do remember a lot of people was talking about that. Well, not a lot of people, but some people were talking about the City Hall part. You can also spend some time selecting that flawless ring in Creative Sim. At least we get to pick out a ring, at least. Picking the right time and location when they say yes, because of course they will. You're a total catch. You and your partner have the preference to host pre-wedding parties to celebrate the big news with family and friends. Just like your wedding, your sim couple can plan their engagement party, batch parties, and or rehearsal dinner any way they want, complete with the option of toasts, speeches, food, gifts, and dancing, as well as the choosing of a sim of honor. Okay, I kind of really like those ideas. Ultimate checklist for planning your nuptials. Again, I'm probably mispronouncing that. The fun of planning of all of the ceremony details may begin, and you can make your weddings uniquely yours. You don't like to dance? Not a problem. We'll just prepare some food. After you've established your Sims couples likes, dislikes, wants, and nots, you can move on to setting a date and choosing your venue. Tartosa is full of picturesque locations from a coastal village to the forested inland with everything you need to make your wedding day magical, including residents and local lore. There's extravagant ballrooms, sunset laden beaches, and peaceful gardens. We partnered with community creators from different backgrounds to create lots that represent our community, like Ice Mun's Garden Palace of Vows and Centurial Harmony Garden created by Catherine Games YouTube. YT. Once you've Catherine Games YT. Once you're in town, you can go to the local wedding attire boutique to try on a vast array of dresses and tuxedos, from traditional to modern, from flowy white gowns to the reds and henna typical worn by Hindu brides. There's a look for everyone. Then you'll be able to visit the flower cart in the center of town to choose a bouquet you'll inevitably toss toss over your shoulder. You'll toss over your shoulder. What's a party without a cake? Swing over to the I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Shop to taste, test, and put your personal spin on your Sims perfect cake from seemingly endless options and combinations. And don't forget your cake topper. I do remember that. Excuse me. I do remember in the gameplay stream, they showed that if you have a high enough skill, you can actually make your own wedding cake and you can order it off of the computer. The perfect cinematic wedding. Today's the big day, and now it's time to reveal in everything you've built. If you're celebrating a more traditional Chinese matrimony, you can start the day with a family gathering, the customary tea ceremony, serving refreshments to your respective families. After slipping into your wedding attire, it's now time to start the wedding ceremony. Your guests will gather together to cordially await your arrival. Once you've sent down your flower pile and ring bearer down the aisle, if you so choose to, then you and your partner will do the same, either alone or with someone to give you away. Vows exchanged, I do's certified, and the first kiss seals the deal. Congratulations, newlyweds. Let's party. In the wedding reception, you'll have an opportunity to toss your bouquet, cut the cake with your partner, and even share your first slow dance as a married couple. Which I am happy that they added slow dancing. I just. That should be in the base game. I don't know if they're going to have it so it can be in the base game as well. Probably not. But I just wish. And the fact that you get to dance with kids too. Celebrate with a rehearsed twirl and dip, then move over, lovebirds. The rest of the party wants to join you on the dance floor for some line dancing. It's electric. Now I'm thinking about it, the electric slide. Ugh. But it's cool that there's line dancing. Memories to last a lifetime. You and your partner's celebration doesn't stop after the reception. You'll have a lifetime together to memorialize your matrimony, starting with the photos you captured and vacations you planned. Whether you stay in Tartosa or travel to another far-off world, you'll be able to enjoy your new life with an intimate vacation for two. As you and your partner grow old, you two will also have the chance for chance for vow renewal, reaffirming your love for each other in a smaller, simpler version of your wedding ceremony. The Sims team wishes you and yours a sincere congratulations. Dominique and Camille are getting married in Tartosa. Blah blah blah. The Sims 4 Wedding Stories, Thursday, February 17th, 2022 at 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Okay, our story, trailer, and blog post. Wedding live stream. Join us on Friday, February 11th, 2022 at 11 a.m. Okay, that was the Sims stream the other day. Our story. After a long friendship, Dominique and Camille actually got together on what was supposed to be Camille's wedding day. A little untraditional, but when you find your person, you just know. No big surprises except this time around. Venue. Framed for its wedding industry, Tartosa is rich with beautiful venue options. We considered the beach and the forest, as well as a local estate and a church. Ultimately, we decided on a garden wedding. Dressing up, we did some window shopping in the village to choose our wedding looks. Shh, no spoilers. If you need some ideas, we recommend you do the same for some fashionable attire. As we saw in the gameplay stream the other day, you can window shop, but when you do this to pick out the outfits, you'll go straight into cast. the theme. For a garden wedding, nothing is more appropriate than florals. We had tons of decor options for everything from the cake to the bouquets, seats, table setups, and more. Okay, we got the rainbow, ghosts, cow plants, the traditional heart stuff we had, and the people on top of the cake. Alright. I love the rainbows and the ghosts and the cow plants. Arriving February 17th, 2022, My Wedding Stories. Alright. It seems good, but we know what is bubbling underneath all the drama. So there's that. And now for the letter that we all did not want to see. A letter to our players from the Sims team. February 9th, 2022. Our commitment to you. A letter to our players from the Sims team. Yesterday we introduced you to The Sims 4 My Wedding Stories game pack, and along with it, to Dominique and Camille, a couple whose love knows no boundaries. Today we want to explain the decision we've made to not release this pack in Russia. Celebrating love your way. Over the years, you've delighted us with the ways your Sims have found love and celebrated that love through weddings in our base game. You've also shared with us your eagerness to walk down the aisle, have your Sims take their seats, and shed a tear of joy as you made a lifelong commitment. When we set out to create My Wedding Stories, this was the version we had for our global community. The joy of finding love, celebrating that love, and telling the stories that have meaning on a personal level. Imagining the stories our players will tell with our pack is all at the heart of everything we create. For My Wedding Stories, we were excited to introduce you to Dom and Cam. Their love story reflects the lived experiences of so many members of our community and team. As we moved through our development and brand storytelling process, we became aware that the way we want to tell Cam and Dom's story would not be something we could freely share around the world. A commitment to our values. The ability to tell stories, any story, is at the core of what we do at The Sims. Holding back Cam and Dom's story meant compromising the values we live by. We are committed to the freedom to be who you are, to love who you love, and tell the stories you want to tell. So what does that mean for you, our players? We are steadfast in upholding the commitment by shining a light on and celebrating stories like Dom and Cam's. So we have made the decision to forego the release of My Wedding Stories, where our storytelling would be subject to changes because of federal law. Regarding this means that members of the Sims community in Russia will not be able to purchase this game pack. To our Simmers around the world, we are grateful to have you in our universe. With love and gratitude, the Sims team. Weddings for Russia. Hi everyone, why the decision to ban wedding stories in Russia is not about the defense of LGBTQ rights, a thread. Please sit down, it will be a long ride. This is really huge. I'm so sorry. The only Russian law that somehow limits the distribution of LGBTQ plus related content is art. 6.21 of the Code of the Russian Federation on Administrative Offenses. This article speaks about the propaganda of non-traditional sexual relationships to underage. The age of the legal majority in Russia is 18. Thus, all content that contains the depiction of LGBT plus, naturally or positively, must be labeled as 18 plus, according to Russian law. Please note that this is an administrative offense and not a crime. The worst consequences of this offense is an administrative fine of equaling up to be this amount, and the suspension of activity for 90 days. But the latest is rarely used because it is easier to hand out a fine. There are some additional restrictions for the dis- dispro- distribution of such content. Any printed product with the age restriction must not contain the prohibited for children imagery in the places generally allowed for children. There are no additional demands for the content published on the internet, just label it properly. Now let's speak about the probable legal risk for EA. The Sims games are labeled as 18 plus in Russia from the base game. So every part of the game, every pack and kit is labeled as 18 plus. Wedding stories are no exception. Trailers on the internet just put an 18 plus label in the start as they do in cinemas, then proceed. All Russian trailers of The Sims have an age restriction label in the corner of the video that appears at the start. The same would be applied to the wedding stories. The trailer of the Dream Home Decorator has included the kids' room with the trans pride flag, and no one cared. The trailer for the cats and dogs has included the gay wedding, and no one cared. Why it would be difficult for wedding stories, just put the label, that's all. Pictures on the internet, just put an 18 plus on the picture in the web page. The Russian version of the news about the carnival streetwear kit includes the imagery of that. In terms of Russian law, must be 18 plus. No one cared. The Russian versions of the news about the modern menswear kit contains pictures of guys in skirts. No one cared. Every year, the Russian version of the news talks about Pride Month and praises all the LGBTQ simmers and Sims with the fitted pictures. No one cared. Everything about the Sims on the Russian version of the EA website is labeled as 18 plus. Why it would be different for wedding stories? Just put the label, that's all. So we are left with the distribution of the material copies in the game on the discs. As far as I know, the Sims game in Russia is distributed mainly in digital. I googled briefly and haven't found any latest add-ons on discs at all. And even if they are, the Sims don't need to change the whole image. They could make, for example, an additional wrapper just with wedding stories written on it in the disc case without any changes inside. It would be okay. I have seen some tweets about the Russian constitution declares that marriage can be only between men and women. It is true, but this is not about the media content and never has been. It is about literal marriages between real people in Russia, not about some game that allows same-sex marriages in a fictional world mainly based on the US reality. So according to all of the above, there are no legal risks for EA to drop the wedding stories for us. It is not illegal. It is not prohibited. I also want you to consider that the English version of the EA announcement contains information that the ban is because of the Russian federal law. The Russian version does not have this information. For those of you who condone what EA did because it is wrong that the game is labeled as 18 plus because of LGBT content, yes, it is. But I want you to consider that the demand to label the content is the most harmless impact of this law. The law is used mainly for the oppression and erasure of LGBTQ rights, organizations, and initiatives. Films, books, and games at the moment are not persecuted for the LGBTQ content that is labeled. The law does not demand to censor or cut out anything if it is labeled. All the recent cases of censorship and cuts were about self-censorship and fear of backlash, not about some demand of the Russian government. And this is what EA does, just self-censors itself. For all these years since 2014, the Sims games were labeled as 18 plus. No content ever have been cut out or altered. Every LGBTQ Sims remained that way. All same-sex and same in-game families remained that way. How are wedding stories all different? Any different? For those of you who think that if we still have this government and this law, we approve all of this, no, we are not. A lot of people protested about the law from the beginning, but unfortunately, we live under an authorize authoritarian game that gets harder every day. The protests are fiercely repressed. The further explanations will require a whole new huge thread because there are a lot of factors that led to the situation we are in. Just please don't think that you know our political situation better than we do. Listen to those who are oppressed. We know better. The defense of human rights never should be the sake of some abstract concepts. The Sims team in their letter says that this decision is for the protection of LGBTQ plus rights, but whom by they protect. Human rights don't just hang out there in the air; they belong to people. And this decision does nothing for the protection of the LGBTQ rights of the Western people except virtue signaling. Move over this decision does not Moreover, this decision does nothing for the protection of the LGBTQ plus rights of Russian people. The Sims games help a lot of us to escape from the reality. To live in a world where everyone is equal, where there is no hate or prejudice towards different social groups. A lot of people have explored and understood their sexuality through the game. A lot of people stopped being homophobic because of the game. They subsequently just grew used to the conception of the world that the Sims games suggest. We, the LGBTQs and allies in Russia, are constantly fighting for our rights and freedom to be ourselves. In the games like The Sims have been always showing to us, you are not alone. You are great as you are. And when the Sims team decides to ban the wedding stories from Russia, it hurts. Not only the decision itself, but how it was made. All the letter is about the importance of the story shown in the add-on, nothing about us, the players. Nothing that stated, hey, we know you are out there. We are deeply sorry, keep fighting. We will try and see what we can do for you. Just nothing. It still would be a strange decision, but at least it would show that they care.